When it comes to getting wood flooring done at your place, there's quite a lot you need to know before getting started. So we thought we'd throw a whole load of FAQs at a total pro and Bona Certified Contractor, Simon Webb of SD Webb Flooring of Canterbury. Simon, thanks for joining us and answering all these questions. To start with, let's look at a floor that is already laid, an existing floor. What's the first thing that you do?
You need to have a conversation with the customer, find out what they're looking for in the way of finish to their floor, whether it needs to be a hard wearing floor or whether they want something a little less, like a waxed floor or an oiled floor. You also need to ascertain whether it's engineered or whether it's a solid.
Maybe they've already got something done in their house and they want to match it. Can it be matched? It's all those sort of things, isn't it?
Absolutely. They may want a colour on it. They can also have a lacquer put over that colour to protect that colour from the wear and tear of everyday household wear.
You mentioned there earlier engineered wood. Can you varnish engineered wood?
Mostly yes. Again, you need to have a look at the wear layers to see whether it's sandable or whether it's just overcoat. You will also need to work out what coating is already on that engineered wood floor. Some engineered wood floors could just require a deep clean. Bona have some excellent products for cleaning dirt and grime and cooking fats, etc., out of wood floors before recoating.
Sanding is a possibility of an engineered floor, but it would need an expert like Simon to come and see how much wood you've got left, really, because you don't want to start sanding that and suddenly get down to the
core of the board.
That could look disastrous.
And ruin the floor.
And ruin the floor. Yeah, and he doesn't want to be laying you a new one if he doesn't have to. What to put on the floor? A lot of this is down to opinion, but I suppose you've got two main areas. You've got oils and you've got lacquers. Both have positives. What's good about putting an oil on a floor?
It's a very good question. Oiled floors and waxed oil floors can be referred to as a soft coating, so they're going to require a lot more routine maintenance and cleaning to look after them to keep them at their best. It is recommended that it is recoated every year. I would always recommend, for durability, go down the route of a lacquer.
It's hard wearing.
And you can get all sorts of finishes in the regards to extra matte right through to silk matte, so you can get all sorts of levels of shine to them.
Also, when it comes to lacquers, maintenance, what sort of things would you need to do to keep it in tip-top condition?
Vacuuming to get rid of dirt and grit, and then use the Bona spray cleaners to clean the surface. Very easy, very simple.
This is a question we get asked a lot. Is it better to get a pro to do the job, especially the sanding? I could really say that quite easily, yes, but give us a little bit more as to why it's worth getting a pro to do this work.
Well, really, it all starts from the timber you have on the floor. Different timbers react differently. They require different processes. That may come from specific primers before you even put a lacquer on the floor. This all needs to be assessed. Using a contractor, they'll have all the best equipment. They'll have dust extractors, so there's absolute minimal dust in the house, which is important for a good finish at the end of the job as well.
Some people might be seeing their floor and going, it's all right, I can hire a belt sander from my local tool hire station. It'll be fine, it's got a bag on the back.
Belt sanders are a very aggressive piece of equipment, and you need to know what you're doing. You have to work your way through varying stages of abrasives to sand and remove those abrasion marks all the way through. There can be all sorts of things on top of that as well. The best fillers to use, how to use that and fill gaps and holes and nail heads.
Is it possible to change colours of floors, or is pine pine and oak is oak? Can you just tweak how things are finished?
Absolutely, great question. Yes, there's a fantastic range of coloured oils that Bona make. It depends greatly on the timber you're starting with. If it already has a very dark background colour, you're not going to influence the colour, the overall finish of that floor too much. Paler floors, yes, colours will work very well. You can also use varying primers as well to give more of an intense, rich colour, base colour. and then your clear lacquers will just seal that in.
Once you've got your first coat of lacquer on, there is work that needs to be done between coats, and this is another thing that people forget and is actually quite a pro job.
The intercoat sanding, also known as denibbing, does require removing some of that grain raise, any imperfections that have got into that coating after the first coat has gone down, and keying that back is incredibly important.
I think I already know the answer to this one, Simon, but I'm going to ask it anyway because it gets asked a lot. Can I lacquer my wax oiled floor?
Absolutely not. Wax oil will repel lacquer, it will flake and peel off.
So you need to sand it right down, get rid of it, start again.
Start fresh with your lacquer on bare timber, absolutely.
Right. Which coating would best suit a kitchen environment?
Always the best coating you can put down, and that will be something along the lines of a lacquer, and always recommended, the Traffic HD system. It's incredibly durable and very, very suitable to kitchen areas. They are one of the most hard-working areas in the household and really needs a lot of protection.
Because I suppose with something like an oil, if you spill fat or something staining, that could stain.
Yes, that's the downfall of an oil coating, is it's quite porous, and spillages such as red wine that you've accidentally spilled a few drops will mark it instantly and require quite some maintenance to remove.
The customer has chosen what they want on the floor. They suddenly panic and go, will the floor yellow over time with what you're doing to it?
Another great question. You'll never stop timber from changing colour. It's a natural product and it will ultimately do what it's going to do. This process can be slowed down quite considerably by using one of Bona's fantastic system, the Domo, Mega Evo, Mega One, Traffic HD and Traffic Go. They are fantastic for anti-yellowing properties.
Gluing a floor down to concrete, do I need a damp-proof membrane?
Sometimes yes, depending on the moisture levels in your concrete subfloor. These floors will need to be tested with a damp meter. If the moisture levels are too high, a resin DPM will need to be applied before the wood floor. And
it's not just good enough going down and giving it a sniff?
Absolutely not, no. As far as I'm aware, noses and fingers aren't quite as up to the spec of a top quality damp meter.
It's all about the adhesive as well, what to use when putting the floor down.
Bona have a fantastic range of adhesives for varying different applications. 848, Titan, Quantum. They're there for different timbers, different thicknesses, engineered as well as solids, and also repairs.
Can Bona adhesives be used in conjunction with underfloor heating?
Yes, all of them.
Okay, good to know. Let us just summarise with the top 3 things that people need to consider when it comes to flooring. So first of all, choose the right coating for the environment.
It's always important to consider the household, the environment, is there pets, is there children, and choosing the best coating for that job.
Consider the maintenance to extend the life. So you've got to think about what you're going to do once your contractor's gone.
Regular routine maintenance is very important to prolong the life and the refinish of your wood floor. There's also a system for refinishing your lacquer without having to sand right back to bare timber. This is something that Bona are very keen to promote because it's very good for the environment to refinish your lacquered floor with fresh coats of lacquer as a regular routine to the life expectancy of your floor.
And thirdly, without stating the obvious, contact your Bona Certified Contractor.
Absolutely. Bona Certified Contractors have a wealth of knowledge. They have Bona's backing behind them and expertise, and will be able to advise you for a very successful job.